Hi, my name is Paula Swain. I'm a financial planner with the Financial Center for Women. And today I'm here with Jeremy Burks, a divorce attorney, and we're going to talk about the divorce process. So, Jeremy, do you want to take a second to introduce yourself?
Hi, Jeremy Burks, an attorney with Sove Pendraki and Burks and Wanda.
Okay, you know that I'm recently divorced because you were my divorce attorney, which went very amicable. We didn't really have any issues. So, which I was grateful for. But what happens if we decided to, get out there and, duke it out? How do we resolve those disputes?
Okay. First of all, as an attorney who does nothing but family law, I always advise clients it's always in your best interest, even especially if you have children, for the parties to reach a resolution on their own without as much attorney interference or interference from the judge as possible. But in the cases where parties cannot agree, uh, when you go in front of the judge the first time, or if both parties have hired an attorney, normally the attorneys will agree to bring the parties to mediation, where a third attorney gets involved and will go between the parties and their attorneys, trying to get you to inch closer to a resolution. You and your attorney will provide the mediator with what your request to settle the case is, and your spouse and their attorney will do the same thing, and then the mediator will go back and forth trying to get you to reach that agreement. If you cannot reach an agreement through mediation, the only other way to resolve the case is the parties agree to use a third attorney to arbitrate the case, where you present the case just like you would in mediation, but the other attorney acts like a judge and renders a binding decision on the parties. Where mediation is
Oh,
non-binding, arbitration is absolutely binding. And if the
okay,
if,
wait, wait,
if
wait, 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 wait. Okay. So I don't understand. So mediation, what do you mean by binding and not binding? So like if we go to mediation and we make a decision there in mediation and we leave, somebody could always change their mind.
No, in
Okay.
mediation, if you go to mediation and come to an agreement, typically you will sign an agreement or put an agreement on the record that day. It will be binding. But the
Okay.
mediation process itself is not binding. At any point during mediation, you can throw your hands up and say, I quit, I'm done, I don't want to mediate anymore, we're not going to
Oh,
agree.
okay. Okay. So then in arbitration, you're there until you get a solution?
No, in
No?
arbitration, you present it just like you would in mediation,
Okay.
but in arbitration, the attorney will render a decision just like a judge would in trial.
Okay. So you don't necessarily in arbitration, it could you're not necessarily agreeing, somebody's making the decision for you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the arbitration process is like a quicker, less formal, less costly version of trial. You can
Okay.
still call witnesses, you can still present documentation, but in the end, a third attorney, non-interested attorney, will be making a decision that will be binding on the parties.
Hmm. Okay. Well, what happens if you have to go to trial?
Then, trial is a lot more costly, uh, mainly because the trial process is a lot more formal. And because of the court schedule, trial can last several days because the judge only had 2 hours today, or 3 hours on the next day, and 2 hours on the next day. And it can take, weeks or months to get that whole process finished. You present your case to the judge, you make your request for what you want to have. The other side does the same thing. They present their case and all their documentation and make their request. And then at some point in the future, the judge renders a binding decision on the parties.
Oh, wow. That seems like a long time.
It can be a long time. I've had trials that lasted half a day and the judge rendered the decision that day, which is
Hmm.
not typical at all. And I've had trials that lasted several months, and it took another month before the judge rendered their opinion on the case.
Okay. So let me sum this up really quick. So either you're amicable and you have um, conversations, you make your own resolution to the extreme as you have a judge make it and you may not like it or you may like it depending on the party, but realistically, the easiest and most inexpensive way is just to have some conversation in the beginning and try to be amicable as possible and make a decision together.
Correct. And I will tell you right now, whether it's a mediator, an arbitrator, or the judge, they feel like they have done their job correctly when both parties are angry with the outcome.
That doesn't sound very nice.
Well, if you're both angry, then somebody doesn't feel like they've won, and
Yeah,
only
that's
one
true.
person doesn't feel like they've lost. If both parties are angry with the outcome, then you know it was probably pretty much fair.
Yeah, I guess. It'd be just nice if everybody could get along, in the
It's
Pollyanna
always
world that I
nicer.
live in.
It's always nicer.
So I gotta know, what is the quickest divorce you've ever done and what is the longest?
Quickest divorce was probably 60 days. Michigan has statutory waiting periods. Divorce without children is typically about 60 days. The divorce with children is 6 months. And a lot of how quick you get into court depends on the particular court and the particular judge you were assigned.
Okay.
The longest divorce I ever worked on was probably about 2 years.
Wow.
And it was just a never-ending argument with the parties.
And the only one that isn't that the saying they say the only one that wins in that one is the attorney?
Unfortunately, yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah.
the end result.
Well, thank you, Jeremy, for helping me understand the different different processes for divorce. I really appreciate you taking time with me today.
Not
Anything
a
else
problem.
you'd like to say? Anything else you have?
Nope. If you
Okay.
need me, give me a call.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you, Paul.